Hi guys, welcome to my podcast on sustainability crisis. I'm your host Sandeep Iranti, and this episode is The Age of Luxury. Earth is a place of contrasts. It provides conditions to flourish billions of species of plants, animals, viruses, and bacteria, but at the same time, it is a constant battle to survive on Earth. For almost all plants and animals, surviving itself is a luxury. If we pay attention to the wildlife, the chance of survival of an injured animal is very less. Even if it does survive, it may have to live with the consequences of an injury like a broken leg for the rest of its life. Not very long time ago, the same was true for humans as well, because even we were susceptible to be hunted by wild animals, also get sick by many diseases. So, to increase our survival chances, we started to live in groups. Essentially, we got civilized by keeping our distance from the wildlife to reduce exposure to diseases and threats from the natural world. And we invented medicine and we became experts in understanding human anatomy. As technology grew rapidly, the advancements in medicine made sure stability in life expectancy, which has changed society's view to treat survival as human right instead of a luxury. And when survival was no more a luxury, we as a society moved on to treat other non-essentials as luxury, like having a home. As the cycle of technological developments continued, it made more easier for societies to change their views on what is essential and what is a luxury. What I'm saying is, a century ago, owning a car was a luxury, but not anymore. A decade ago, flying used to be a luxury, but not anymore. The very definition of luxury in our eyes has changed as fast as the technology has given us the ability to do so. This may not be true for poorer countries, but overall, our attitude towards what is luxury as a civilization and society has been strongly influenced by the technological advancements. A while ago, a friend of mine said, "It would have been a very wonderful life for the kings who lived hundreds of years ago." Then I replied, "I would rather be an average citizen in 21st century than a king in 5th century, because life expectancy and freedom in modern world is many times better than in 5th century, even for a king. So the most powerful person in 5th century had less life expectancy than a common man in the modern world. We currently live in the age of luxury. Our lives have never been better and comfortable than now. Yet, we consider them as basic needs but not a luxury. In fact, having a car and being able to go anywhere whenever we want is a luxury, not a basic need. I do not mean that we need to stop having more comfortable lives and stop fulfilling our passions, but not at the cost of our own future and not at the cost of social inequality. Everyone can have comfortable lives and dream big and also have extraordinary passion by acknowledging the fact that our current way of having basic needs is harming the very survival of the natural world. Our liberal rights let us to be rich and take whatever we want from the natural world. And this may be justified in 19th century when technology was limited and population was sustainable. But right now, our constitutions around the world lack insight into the future and do not consider equality at planetary level. Because we have money and because we are capable of getting whatever we want, doesn't justify our actions. Commodities must be primarily categorized based on sustainability, then subdivided into essentials and non essentials. One similar example is carbon tax, which discourages people to use less cars and more public transport. Transportation is a basic need in the modern world to survive, but it doesn't need to be a gas guzzling SUV. Also, we do not have to abandon our liberal rights, but we need to make sure that these rights will not violate climate equality rights. Everyone is equal when it comes to consuming the world's natural resources, especially when these resources are clean air and drinking water. No one has the right to pollute air and water. It is a known practice that during any global disaster, all nations' leaders come together as one to fight the common enemy. But when the enemy is our own thinking and lack of planning, we shy away from changing and act as a whole. What we learn from difficult times is very crucial. And given the circumstances and situations, can we really afford not to learn right things from failures anymore? Perhaps not. And that brings us to the end of another podcast. Please do share your comments via email or direct message. I'm also open for a dialogue if you may be interested in. Think innovative, think sustainable. And if you have been listening, thank you so much for tuning in.